Okay, guys, we are about to rise up for the second week in a row. We are closing up shop with Rise of the TMNT. It was a short-lived show, only 2 seasons. They do have a good movie that we're going to talk about, and at the end of this recording, I'm going to ask our good friend Christian if he agrees with me, if it's best to start from and work your way backwards to start with the movie with this franchise. I feel it's the right way, but I want to hear Christian's thoughts at the end. So Christian's here from TMNT Dare Talk. He's going to talk us through every episode like we did last week. Once again, some cool Easter eggs. Some episodes kind of go way out in, left field. But there is some really cool cameos here that I enjoyed. Fantastic, almost like a little mini-series to end the show. And Christian, can you explain why this one was shortcut? Is it because of the movie? They only had 13 episodes for season 2?
Well, no. Originally, they wanted to do another a full season with 26 episodes, like the first one. But when the second season was going, they were cut short because, the toys didn't sell that well. The ratings weren't the best. So yeah, Nickelodeon pretty much cut down the season to half of a season. And to this day, I'm still surprised that they were able to do the finale that they did, that they were able to finish their story and were not like, okay, we're canceled, we're done, like cut off the story in the middle of it. We really got an ending, and then we even got a movie. It's they really did everything they could to get out of this half season what they could, and they, in my opinion, the finale, it really delivers.
Yes, it does. Once again, you have to have patience here, because for me, I'm like, where is this show going again? We just had an amazing season 1 finale. We find out more about Shredder, getting some closure with Splinter, getting more about his identity, and then they start doing the goofy stuff again. There is some good stuff in there with the training, but it gets kind of crazy once in a while. So Christian's going to help you break these down. And before we get started with our first 2-parter, I got to say, I think they encourage us older fans to watch because, this is directed at kids, but there's some stuff that kids would not catch unless you were an OG fan, especially in the first of the 2 episodes in season 2, episode 1, starting with Flush But Never Forgotten.
Okay, so this is where you are. But I gotta say, we gotta start with many unhappy returns.
Okay.
Because that's they did a total mix up with the broadcasting there.
Okay.
But
good.
many unhappy, if you remember, many unhappy returns is the episode that starts right off where the last episode ended.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, we really gotta start there because it's the Shredder is back, the Shredder is real, and the Turtles are like, okay, what we will do now? Baron Draxum is able to use his last power to slip away, and the Turtles are left with the Shredder, who is now real, and he's totally out of control. And even the Foot mentioned it, like something is wrong here. He's like a wild beast, a wild demon going crazy. Once again, it's totally anime style when this with all the power that the Shredder has, like throwing ships around and going crazy. The Turtles try to stop him, but he's like zapping around town. It's really crazy. Meanwhile, Splinter and Leonardo, they go to Big Mama for help. Like, hey, she can help them. So they get sent to the Battle Nexus to fight for Big Mama. And she's like, hey, if you survive this, I will help you. And this is one of the scenes, if you remember last time we talked about like that Leonardo, he's got his moments where you see, hey, he can't be a strategist, he can't be a leader. And in this episode, it really shows because he's doing all this crazy stuff and Splinter thinks he's just fooling around, but he's got totally a plan to defeat the giant monster to win the Battle Nexus match there and get the trust from Big Mama. He's got it totally planned out, and he's also like, "Hey, you always act like you always act like I'm only goofing around, but I've got a plan here. And so Big Mama is able to help the turtles. She's got like this magical collar that Leonardo is able to put on the shredder. So, and the shredder is well defeated. And yeah, the turtles can finally rest for this. And yeah, we will see where this is going next, what Big Mama big plan is. But yeah, that was the really the start of the season. Oh, one thing, two things, is that in German, I gotta say this, in German, we never saw the second season of the series. So we were left with the cliffhanger that,
Oh, wow.
well, Shredder's back. That's the last episode that we ever saw. We never got the second season. Why? I don't know. It's really horrible. But the second one is a really funny scene with Donatello. If you remember that Donatello is checking his tech stuff and he's breaking the fourth wall by saying, "Ha! One season later, and I still got full battery." It's the Donny Show. Hey, we said it before. It's just he's the best here. But yeah, that was the season start. Many unhappy returns.
Oh, well, I'm very glad you're here again to point this out, because anywhere I've looked, it always had this one as season 2, episode 2. So shame on Google and shame on Wikipedia. We got to get you to be a representative for them, because that would have actually been a little bit more enjoyable for me to watch, because that's why I started this show, where it's like, you know, you had this awesome, amazing season finale, and then you go into like a goofy, fishy story. So if this was the true start to season 2, well done. What you also, a lot of fans, I want to hear some Leonardo fans comment back on us. If you join, Christian's going to promote his Discord at the end just to talk more Rise with you guys. You know, you got to feel for Leo here, because he is constantly getting bickered by all his brothers and even Splinter. Nobody trusts him. And when we talk about the movie, this is almost like a foreshadowing as to why Leonardo does what he does, in my opinion. And I do not disagree with how Leo goes about in the Rise movie, which we're going to talk about, where he is like, no, we're doing it my way, because I think he gets sick and tired of everybody not trusting him. And you see in that episode right there, Splinter's like, no, what are you doing? You can't trust somebody. You can't be trusted. He's like, I got this. Just relax. So I want to hear if Leonardo fans were getting a little, upset with this, because nobody trusted him. And he was pulling through on every episode. So much, much better season opener that we got here, because now we're going to get into the zany ones. And as you just said, the Donnie Show for part 2 of this 2-parter.
So yeah, now we can go into the episode Flushed But Never Forgotten. And as you said, that's we're back to one-shot episodes that are fine. Here we got it's about Halloween, spooky season, so we got a little spooky episode there where a mysterious fish mutant is chasing the turtles, I know what you did last summer style, because the turtles some time ago, they were by accident, they flushed down Splinter's bat fish, Peebolt. And it appears that she came back as a mutant and she's chasing the turtles. And it's totally horror movie style. But in the end, it turns out that it was all just a prank. Splinter knew about this. Splinter and Peebolt, they were working together to scare the turtles so that they tell the truth that they made a mistake, because all this time they were like, no, we did nothing wrong. It's all fine. Let's... they were lying, and Splinter tried to teach them a lesson, and so that worked out. It was, in the end, it was just a prank, but it was spooky.
And how did you like the little Casey Jones kind of like hockey mask when they were playing with the fish? I'm like,
oh yeah, totally. It totally remind me of Casey. Yeah, totally.
Because they pretty much are encouraging the old fans to watch these shows, because kids wouldn't really get that one unless they were hardcore turtle fans. So I'm like, well, there's someone out there that wants us to watch this, so I got a kick out of it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, coming up next, we've got Donatello. This is probably, besides like the hardcore season ending, this is probably a top 3 for me in this season, just because it's just so good, and I actually got emotionally invested into this show. This one was great.
I guess you're talking about the episode Lair Games.
Yes.
Which would be the next one on my list.
Oh yeah.
That's I totally agree. It's such a good episode. Once again, it's pretty much such a funny episode. But it's like April is doing this documentary on the Lair Games, which are like the Olympic Games for the turtles, where every year they compete against each other, and always Leonardo is the one who wins, and he's Leonardo here, and he's like totally, yeah, pretty much arrogant about it, like, hey, I'm the best of the best. And the other turtles try to win the games, and they're just doing all this crazy stuff. And well, it's so funny because we always have these scenes, and then the turtles get interviewed about it, and it's just so good. Um, but in the end, Donatello is able to defeat Leonardo in the games. But twist, it was all a plan by Leonardo, because it was Leonardo said, hey, we're gonna switch rooms, you get my room when you win, and Donatello wins and he gets Leonardo's room. But Leonardo wanted this to happen because his room is next to Splinter's room and Splinter is snoring very loudly. So that was all Leonardo's plan, and yeah, he's he got it, and it's just a whole episode. You got to check it out for yourself, because how it's made, how it's just shown like a documentary, everything, and the interviews in between the scenes. It's just so great and so funny. Really a funny, good episode.
Yep, no, I had a good time watching that one as well, especially with little Raph and Mikey. So like, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it, he's not gonna do it, he's gonna do it. So just highs and lows, up and down. Well done, well done. So coming up next, we have pretty much this whole entire season is just loaded with two-parters. So we've got Funky Todd Scouts, and then don't judge an episode by its name, because the second one is a really fun one.
Yeah, Todd Scouts. In this episode, the turtles go on a trip in the woods with Todd, who tries to teach them something about nature and how to survive in nature, because the turtles, they are just using their phones and relying on technology. And Splinter sent them out with Todd to learn something about nature and, yeah, how to survive out there without their technology. And, then they run into a crazy group of dentists. Yeah, I'm not making this up. That want to that kidnap Todd because he's got like this big teeth, because he's a capybara, and they want to take his tooth from him. So the turtles have to save him, and they are able to do this by using what Todd teaches them. And which once again, I love all these references once again, because Todd then is using drinks some of his lemonade, and he's got this sugar rush, and he turns into a Super Saiyan, and it goes crazy, and they're able to defeat the dentists in the end, and well, that's pretty much it. Once again, just a funny episode there.
Yeah, no, exactly. A couple chuckles there. The next one I really enjoyed, because it's almost like a little backstory that we don't really usually get, and it was, kind of like told by these little characters here. This one was fun.
Yeah, Goils is a really good episode, because we see the little gargoyles that worked for Baron Drexum, Huggin and Munnin, but they're out of a job because, well, Drexum is powerless now, and they're trying to find a new job, and then they get, well, kidnapped by Meat Sweats, who pretty much wants to eat them. And while they're in a cage, they start retelling their origin story. We get a real callback to how they got to work with Baron Drexum, because Drexum actually wanted some strong, big gargoyles, but through an accident, he got the little dudes, Huggin and Munnin, and they worked for him. And they were also able to bring Luchitsu to Baron Drexum, and through some kind of crazy stuff, Baron Drexum's laboratory gets destroyed. Luchitsu is able to save some turtles, 4 little turtles who were getting mutated. He also got some mutagen on him, which was starting to turn him into a rat. And then they escaped. And we got this whole backstory, how all this happened, how Luchitsu got the turtles, how he became a rat, became Splinter. And yeah, also about how like a little bit of origin story for Baron Draxum and his gargoyles. So yeah, it's really cool little backstory that we really needed, because we only saw bits of pieces of this backstory, but now we got the full story, and that totally worked.
The things some people take for granted, Christian. All they wanted was to sleep in a dog bed. That's all those two wanted to
Yeah.
do. Oh boy, coming up next, we've got. This is the first time I think I ever hear Donatello being called Donald in any TMNT form. I could be wrong. It may have been referred to somewhere else, but it just feels so good when you hear a familiar voice say D. It's like, I know that voice. It touched the soul here, and Donatello be referred to as D by Mr. You-Know-Who, Greg Sipes in this one.
Yeah, the episode is Breaking Purple, where we meet Sheldon again, Donatello's robot computer guy, who is voiced by Greg Sipes. And yeah, it's like Sheldon got into his teenage years, so he's rebelling, and Donatello tries to be a good parent for his robot buddy. But Sheldon gets. Meets the purple dragons, and he starts hanging out with the gang, and he's like this drone. They start they're competing in this drone race to get some piece of technology, and Donatello also enters the drone race as himself, as a drone. Crazy. But to get to Sheldon, to get him stop, like, hey, these they are not good for you, don't hang out with them. And yeah, in the end, he's able to get through, and they make up, and they're good again. And as Sheldon sees that when he loses the race, the purple dragons don't care about him, but Donatello still cares about him. So we have this wonderful father robot son moment, and yeah, so they are good again. Wonderful.
Yep, very, very good. It's always nice hearing Greg Sipes, and there's more cameos coming too, guys. If you keep listening to this episode, there's one I did not see that one coming soon. But coming next, we've got Repairing the Baron. Nice catchy name.
Yeah, where we see the return of Baron Draxum, who, by the way, in the second season is no longer voiced by John Cena, unfortunately. I don't know why he was not available or what. I don't know. But here we find out, as I said at the start, Baron Draxum got no power. He's totally powerless. But Michelangelo was the one who found him, and he tries to turn him into a good guy. And that he learns about the people, and he does not want to destroy humans. So they're hanging out together. And well, especially Splinter is not happy about this, because, well, he was the one who turned him into a rat, and so they go to Coney Island. All the while, Baron Draxum is hunted by these two yokai headhunters who are after him, and so we got all this crazy action there. And Draxum, in the end, is able to save some humans, and we even see that during all this, he loses his mask, and we see his real face now. So it's like a moment of change for him. It's like, okay, he's not all that evil, and he needs a real job now, because he's no longer a super evil bad guy. So he starts working at April's high school in the cafeteria, and he really likes this job. So it works out for him in the end, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. It is. I'm glad you pointed it out to our listeners here on Shellonomics, because it does suck when voices change. We talked about it in the 2012 series when Jason Biggs got replaced not once but twice, and sometimes the character can lose some flavor. So I did feel a little bit of a pushback here, just because I'm a huge WWE John Cena fan. He's only got another month and a half left in his wrestling career, and then he's calling it quits for good. So How did you like the new voice actor? Did he resonate less with you when with the change?
Oh no, I think it's Roger Craig Smith,
Okay.
and I think he does a really good job. He's a great voice actor. We already heard him on the 2012 show when he was voicing characters like the Pulverizer, and I think he's a great voice actor, and it really works.
Okay.
I mean, I also love John Cena. I think John Cena is really cool guy, but hey, it's a good substitute, I gotta say.
Okay. Good to hear. Thank you for that feedback. Coming up next, we got the NBA, which is just taken off out here in the States, and we're going to start another a basketball episode here with Air Turtle.
Yeah. In this episode, Leonardo becomes the mascot of a basketball team. But unfortunately, the guy who runs the basketball team, the manager, wants them to be stronger, to be better. So he uses some mystical artifacts to turn them into, yeah, super basketball style. Just think of the monsters from Space Jam, just
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
And yeah, and there's only one way to turn them back is by defeating them at their game. So the turtles, they team up, play basketball against these super powered up monster players, and yeah, they are able to, well, defeat them, turn them back into the normal selves, and yeah, so it works out fine. It's cool. The turtles playing basketball. Hey, why not? It works.
Hey, we had a slam dunk and Don toy growing up as kids, so yeah, exactly. Why not? Oh my gosh. Well, here's a funny one for you. So earlier, again, this is why it's fun doing these with you. So you talked about the episode guy being out of order. So here's one I just see right now, and I'm gonna send you a photograph because you're gonna be like, "Ooh, are you kidding me?" Just for fun. So the next episode we're gonna be talking about is Pizza Puffs, and guess what they do on this Google? It says Ralph. Why does everyone call him Ralph Christian? Oh my God, we can make a whole podcast on our own just because even a couple of my buddies. I don't know if it's because of like the autocorrect universe we live in now where people just don't care. But where did this Ralph thing come from? I guarantee you've seen it too a couple times.
Oh, absolutely. I know what you mean, and it always drives me crazy.
Yes. Oh
But
gosh.
I don't know if you've seen those bootleg turtles for the short film that's coming out, the Mutant Mayhem short film that's coming out in December, and we got this bootleg turtles, this turtle karate warrior from Playmates Toys. I don't know if you've seen them,
Oh no.
and they're like called. What it called Mark instead of Mikey, and Dan, and the Raphael one is actually called Ralph, and I got a good
Ah.
laugh out of that.
I think I know why they made that one Ralph. Just saying.
Oh
I
yeah,
think we're both that
oh
correct.
yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'll have to take a look at those after we record this. So yeah, feel free to drive into a RAPH, R-A-P-H. The L is silent because there is no L in RAPH, and take it away with Pizza Puffs.
Oh, Pizza Puffs, a crazy episode. In this episode, uh, the turtles, everyone except Raphael, they eat this mystical pizza puffs because they're so tasty, even though Raph warns them about they're like poisonous. Yeah, but they're so good. And they get turned, and they got like this crazy stuff on them. Like Michelangelo gets totally, how should I put it, boneless. He turns into like spineless, I don't know, blob. Donatello's stomach starts, it gets turned into its own creature, and Leonardo like is on fire all the time. And Raphael tries to reverse all this, these effects on them. And so they go after Meat Sweats to try to find him because he's got an antidote. In the end, they're able to reach him. They get the antidote, but there's one mysterious thing because at the end, when the turtles leave, Meat Sweats get attacked by a mysterious shadow and gets dragged away. And we don't know what that means, but we will find out.
Yes, absolutely. Stay tuned. It's not that long of a trip too, because we're almost halfway done with the season here. We've got another two-packer for you guys with starting with Sidekick. Ahoy, matey.
Yeah, in this episode, Jupiter Jim appears and he's looking for a new sidekick because he lost his original sidekick, Red Fox. And yeah, the turtles, they want to be his sidekick, even though once again Raphael. It's so funny that Raphael is the well, how should I put it? The smartest one in the situation. It's like, you remember Jupiter Jim, the last time he tried to kidnap us, and it's like, yeah, but he's so cool. So they try to compete to become his sidekick. And during all this, a scorpion mutant appears and attacks them, and it's all crazy. And then the original sidekick, Red Fox, appears, who turns out to be like this yokai creature. And yeah, they reunite. So Jupiter Jim and Red Fox reunite, and so everything turns out good in the end for them. And well, but the turtles, they're a little bit sad because they don't get to be the sidekicks. I mean, it's so funny because there's one scene where Raph is the one, hey, I don't care about this. I don't want to be any part of this. And then Raphael becomes the sidekick just because the reasons, because of the reason that Jupiter Jim likes the color red. And then Raph's like, yoo-hoo, I'm the sidekick, even though he did not care about it at all at first. So yeah, just a crazy little episode.
Yeah, no, and the comedy still does deliver with these from time to time. And I think the reason why it actually works too is we've talked about this before. How much did you like the animation in this series as a whole, just from the comedy aspect and the action?
I think it really works well because I remember when this show started, some people were complaining about the animation. They said like, it's not good. It's not detailed enough, but I think it really works, especially when they're the quicker scenes, they're faster scenes, action-packed scenes. It really delivers. And also when it comes into comedy, like we got like quick cuts and stuff that always get a laugh out of me. So I think it really works. The animation really works, and yeah, we're gonna see some of the best at the end of the season, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have part 2 of episode 6 here with the Hidden City Job.
Yeah, in this episode, Hueso's brother reappears, PL, who was this pirate, and well, Hueso did not really care about his brother because he was evil and so on and so forth, but he needs his help to get something from an auction in the hidden city from Big Mama. So Leonardo and Hueso, they team up with PL to get there. And in the end, it turns out that the item that he wanted was actually a pizza cutter that belongs to Hueso. So he just wanted to get something for his brother so that they can make up, so that they can be a team again, be brothers again. And there's even one scene where Big Mama and her guards surround them, and they like team up. They like fuse because one of them is bones, one of them is skin, and when they fuse, they become a real person, a very attractive person, and together they are they knock out all the guards and they can flee. So big happy end there. And yeah, I gotta say, once again, we get like an ending of this story that started in the first season between Hueso and his brother. So that's it's really good that we can like get endings to storylines here.
Especially like you said too, which I was unaware that they had to cut this, pretty much in half. Like, hey guys, it's just doesn't look like it's working out. This is going to be your last run. So they're trying to pick which ones work, which ones don't work, and to get some closure is actually a great job by the story, the whole Rise show as a whole. So all right, we've got I believe we're coming up to April and Splinter with a nice little team. Actually, these are kind of new to me. We didn't really see it too often in the other shows, but how do you like the April and Splinter chemistry? Because April's a pretty damn good fighter in this show.
Yeah, I was always there for this Splinter and April scenes. I think it's really they really work. I mean, it's funny when I think about it because somehow April works with all the turtles. I mean, later on we get an episode with between Donnie and April and other stuff. And I think it gets really interesting dynamic. And with Splinter is like um, she sometimes makes fun of him, but she also has respect for him, and she's like a daughter to him, so he tries to help her whenever he can. And they got a really interesting dynamic in this show. Yeah.
No, that's how I feel, and that's I believe that's because they're going to be teaming up in the next one that Christian's going to be talking about here.
Yeah, that's the episode Always Be Brownies, which, by the way, is the first episode without any turtles. Because it's all about April and Splinter. And I'm not talking just about this series, I'm talking about all the shows.
Oh
This is the
wow!
first episode in any TMNT show that has no turtles in it.
Wow.
And yeah, in this episode, Splinter tries to help April with her new job where she's selling cookies. And there's this rivaling gang of Girl Scouts who are selling brownies, and they've got like this war going on. And it turns out that behind the brownie gang is none other than Foot Recruit, who wants to use brownies to get power because she's got this crazy plan that when she sells brownies, she will get into the highest positions to get the highest CEOs, and then she will get power again. And Splinter is then like coaching her and it's like, this is not a good plan, we can work on this. And so yeah, pretty much all works out fine in the end. Like Splinter is able to convince Foot Recruit to stop her evil plan, and then once again we get like this moment at the end of the episode where we see Foot Recruit hanging out in her apartment, and suddenly a mysterious shadow appears and drags her away. Once again, mysterious, yes.
Yep, that's what we like to see right there, and that's. I think they all learned from the 2003 show because they always left us hanging, wanting more. So again, another show is so. This is what the fourth animation where we had 87, 2003, 2012, just animation wise and Rise. Yeah, this is number 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, they learned.
Yeah.
They definitely learned. And then we've got another one here, I believe, right? Another double header.
The next episode would be a mystery meet.
Yep.
Where Baron Draxum gets visited by some superintendent at April's school who is still working at, but then an mosquito mutates just some meat and it turns into a meat mutant that's called Sloppy Joseph, and it's causing chaos in the school. And Baron Draxum tries to stop it with the help of April and the turtles, and yeah, just craziness because in the end, pretty much people get eaten by this giant meat monster. And so, in the end, the superintendent is not very happy with Draxum, but the other members of the school staff, they're like, hey, you're one of us, we're a team. So, Draxum is pretty happy with his place now. So that works out. But, a little baby Sloppy Joseph is still living. It's like his adopted kid. And that's cute.
Yeah, why not have a couple of laughs? I say it's going to get serious pretty soon, and it's going to get really crazy with the Battle Nexus. Not yet, but it's coming there. So feel free to take it away with the next one.
So with the next one, we have a start of, we could call it a four-parter, starting with Raph's ride-along. And this is the start where the turtles, they are hanging out in the hidden city, and they all have their own adventures. First episode, as I said, Raph's ride-along. Raph wants to visit the police station, and there he gets mistaken for a criminal in the underground city. and he runs into this criminal gang, and they all, well, look kind of familiar. They're like an obscure version of the other turtles, and they are all voiced by the 2012 voice characters. We got one who looks like Leonardo, who is voiced by Seth Green, then one who looks like Michelangelo, voiced by Greg Sipes, and one who looks like Donatello, and he's voiced by Rob Paulson. Fantastic. And yeah, so Raph all this time tries to convince the police that he is not a criminal, and in the end, he runs into the real criminal, and he's able to deliver him to the police. So he's fine, but then he gets mistaken for another criminal, and in the end, Raphael gets thrown into underground prison. So yeah, that did not work out really.
I loved it because he's like, no, no, no. And they're like, yes, great idea. It was just great chemistry. I'm sure those guys had fun getting called to just sort of reprise their roles because they looked like, they looked like them what they were. But once again, they want the older fans to watch, and they know that the 2012 show was just so good. So that was a real treat. Did you know they were coming back? Like, because again, I didn't know for the crossover series for the 2012 show. I know they were advertising that, but did they advertise these guys were coming back at all?
Not as I remember.
Nice.
I remember that when I watched the first this episode for the first time, I was like, "Hey, they sound familiar. Did they really bring? Oh, they brought them back!" And it was a big and a great surprise there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next. You read my mind about the reaction there, so I would have been this. That's how I was when I first watched it, breaking these down. Like, whoa, wait a minute, I know those guys. So. Lots of fun there, and yes, like you say, the next 3 episodes, they all start with the same beginning for like that first little like 10 seconds, and they each have their own solo episode. So who we got coming up next?
That would be Donnie versus Witchtown, which is an episode with Donatello and April, as they are in the underground city and they're visiting this Witchtown because April wants some help with a school project from witches, which pretty much drives Donatello wild because he's like, hey, I'm a scientist guy. I can use science. You don't need magic. You don't need witches. And well, he tries to prove to April that he can do everything better that magic can do, and which once again causes chaos and disturbs a ritual that calls forth a giant creature. And so Donnie and April have to work together. During all this, some magic goo gets on to April's baseball bat and turns it into a powerful magical baseball bat with a green energy floating around it. And well, Donnie and April working together stop the giant creature, but well, because of all the chaos they caused, Donnie and April get also thrown into prison, and where they meet with Raphael.
Yeah, and did you enjoy these mini parts? I did. I thought it was kind of cool. It reminded me of like the Lord Draco spot in the 2003 show, like the nightmares and just how they all had their own little, I thought it was good. Did you like these?
Oh yeah, good comparison there. Yeah, it was something different. Like as you said, we always get the same opening, and then we see where this story is going with Turtle XY. And but in the end, they all come together again, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting concept, and it totally works here again as it did with the in the 2003 show with the Ultimate Draco episodes.
Yeah, exactly. So. Coming up, I believe we have 2 more, and Mikey's finally going to get his moment to stand out a little bit here. I believe he's first, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
That would be Hidden Cities Most Wanted, where Michelangelo and Splinter, they're hanging out in the underground city, and Splinter wants to show Mikey like his favorite places. But Mikey brought Baron Draxum with him, but he's got like this cloaking device on him that turns Draxum into a little stuffed teddy bear. And Splinter is not happy with this. It's like, no, this is our moment, our father-son moment, and he does not care about Draxum, and so they're like fighting, and Wrexham, as the stuffed animal, gets taken by a police officer and brought to his kid. And Mikey gets really angry. It's like, why did this happen? And so Splinter sees that Mike cares about Wrexham, and he helps him get him back. And well, in the end, even Draxum and Splinter, they can talk about their, well, the problematic relationship, because Splinter's like, hey, why should I care about you? You are the one who turned me into a rat. And Draxum's like, yeah, that's right, but that's what brought you here. And Mikey is caught in the middle. He's like between his two dads, because he wants to, like, Splinter is his father, but Draxum is the one who created him. So they're like both his fathers, and he wants them to get along. So, and Draxum is the one who sees that in the end, and it's like, okay, because they get surrounded by the police in the end, and Draxum is the one who like attacks the policeman and gets taken out, while Mikey and Splinter are able to slip away. So, in the end of this episode, Draxum gets thrown into prison and meets the others there.
Everybody's pretty much rolling doubles 3 times, and it's just like a Monopoly. Go to jail. Go directly to jail. So we've got one more coming up here, don't we, with our fabulous foursome?
Yeah, that's gonna be Leonardo's story with the episode Bad Hair Day, where Leonardo pretty much just wants to relax at this spa, but he does not get in because he's bald, and everybody has to have hair there. So he gets a mystic potion that he gets some hair growing from his head, like long blonde hair, and look beautiful, and everybody is like going crazy for him. And but every time Leonardo falls asleep, as it turns out, the hair is sentient and it starts stealing stuff from people, and so people start to think that he is the one behind it, and he's like, no, it's the hair. And well, he starts fighting with the hair, and well, in the end, yeah, Leonardo also gets thrown into prison. But then their lawyers appear, and these two lawyers are Splinter and Michelangelo in disguises, and they use Leonardo's portal sword to portal out of prison and to escape from it, and that's the end of that story and the whole four-parter. So yeah, it's, as I said, it's a cool concept. I like it, and so yeah, it's like a little mini series here in between.
Yeah, and they did so. I mean, again, all they have is 13. I guess you can say if you double these off, maybe they're in the 20s because they're shorts, but you only got 13 episodes to work with here. That's how some animes can run it, but there's just a lot to cover and a lot more that we are still getting to at the crazy conclusion and the finale, but we're getting there. We've got, I believe, the Fist of Fury coming up next.
Absolutely. And in this episode, we find out that Splinter, as he was Luchitsu, still has some dojos in the city, but they are taken over by another dojo run by a guy called Christoph van Bradford.
Where have we heard that name before?
Yeah, then I really thought it was, oh, okay, nice callback to a 2012 show. And yeah, so once again, Splinter and April are teaming up to compete with these other dojo, and they have a fight where one student fights against another, and it's April versus the student from the Komodo dojo. And April once again proves that she can really she's a good fighter. Splinter trained her a little bit. She can really do her stuff. And well, as the leader, Christoph jumps in, and because he doesn't want to lose, so Splinter and April team up and finish him with their super special attack, and so they win the tournament, and they win this fight. And so yeah, but again, nice little team up episode with Splinter and April. I'm always there for it, because as I said, I really like their dynamic in this show.
Yeah, I know you talked some controversy with April before, but this is if I ever do a top 5 Aprils, I think she qualifies as the top 5. Like I say, her energy is great. She's a believable character. Again, like you say, it's a little different because I don't think there's even a flashback of how April meets the turtles. They're just there, and it's like, it's April and the turtles. Come on, it's like peanut butter and jelly. You know it's going to coexist, so don't worry about it. But that's another episode there, and now we've got the next one. The clothes don't make the turtle.
Yeah, this is once again, it's such a crazy episode. Because during this episode, the turtles they're like caught in this um dress up montage where we always have like this music and the turtles dress up and it looks like a music video. It's really crazy. And turtles, they're always like, hey, how did we get here? Why are we doing this? And as soon as they try to find out what's happening, it's starting over again. We have another montage. And well, the turtles finally find out that Hypno is behind it, that he caught the turtles in this illusion so that he can steal some magical text that will make him more powerful. And the turtles try to stop him. And once again, just the animation this episode is so cool, is so dynamic and so entertaining because like in the end the turtles, they are chasing Hypno through all this uh, illusionist rooms, and it's really hard to describe. It's like a wild trip. And well, in the end the turtles are able to uh, capture Hypno in his own illusion. But once again, a shadow appears, grabs Hypno, and he disappears. And that's the end of that episode.
And finally, I believe this next one's just going to be a solo. So, the question I have is, why do you think they named it Battle Nexus? Just to continue to try and pay more homage to like the 2003 show? Because that's where Battle Nexus originated from, right? I don't even think was it in the comics or was it just it was just from the TV show, right?
It was first in the 2003 show.
Yeah.
It was later adapted into the Mirage comics, but yeah, it originated from the 2003 show.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's your take on this one as we break down Battle Nexus New York?
Yeah, in this episode, well, as the Turtles and Splinter and company, they're hanging out in New York, suddenly everyone in New York disappears, and Big Mama appears and says, hey, it's time for the Battle Nexus in New York. And she throws the turtles into these competitions together with some of their enemies. So Donatello gets teamed up with Hypno, and we find out that she was behind all these kidnappings. And Raph teams up with Ghost Bear. Uh, yeah, and Mikey teams up with Meat Sweats, and Leonardo has to team up with one of the Sando brothers, this crab mutants, and they all have to do something like Raph and Ghost Bear. They have to fight like a giant creature, like this troll creature. Uh, Donnie and Hypno, they have to compete with a super smart yokai in chess. Meat Sweats and Mikey, they have to feed a giant two-headed snake. And Leonardo and the Sando brother, they have to uh, to make like this creature, this spirit, make it laugh. And well, it's really wild. And well, they're able to do all this stuff. And so they confront Big Mama, and she's like, nah, don't think that I will stop here. And she sends out her strongest fighter, who is Shadow Fiend. But then it turns out that this is none other than the Shredder, who is under the control of Big Mama. Well, because she's got like this magical ring that controls the Shredder. But then none other than Foot Recruit gets her hand on this magical ring, and now she's able to control the Shredder. And now she is like, now she will bring power to the Foot Clan. And with this, she flies off to, well, to fight the next day. And yeah, this is pretty much the start of the big finale of this season.
Dude, we're gonna get some crazy closure coming up. We're gonna get some intense fighting, some more characters with some names. Just feel free to break this down as slow as you would like with this 4-part finale, which is they're kind of broken down in episodes. So feel free to break it down as you wish, my dude.
Yeah, let's get one episode after another because I think it deserves it.
Oh yeah.
We have finale part 1 called E-Turtle Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And here we have the turtles who are like, hey, the Shredder is back and he brings the Foot Clan back to power. We have to find a way to stop him once and for all. So they use some a magic ritual to get into Splinter's memories because Splinter, aka Hamato Yoshi, aka Luchitsu, was is the last of the Hamato clan who were the ones who uh, should be able to stop the Shredder or when he or stop him from even coming back. But now he is back, so there must be a way to stop him. And we got all this backstory here. We got all these flashbacks. We see like Splinter when he was a young kid and his mother left him, how he ignored his duty as the last Hamato to stop the Shredder, to become a movie star, and all this stuff. And in the end, they are able to find out that there is like in this different dimension that there is apparently a sword that could stop the Shredder, and they're able to reach it to get it. And but this sword, it transforms into a young woman who turns out to be Hamato Karai, an ancestor of Hamato Yoshi. And but unfortunately, she was put there to uh, like lock Shredder's real power. And but now that she's free, the Shredder, we get to hear his voice for the first time as Shredder's like, oh, now I'm free, I'm back. He's becoming his real self again. And once again, who is he voiced by? Shredder's voice is Hoon Lee, who was the 2012 Splinter. So once again, very nice to hear these guys coming back. And yeah, with this, we have the end of the first part of the finale. And yeah, it's getting crazier.
My gosh, I did not see that coming because remember he voiced a good guy at the end of season 1. Hoonley, remember he was like Splinter's like sensei guy. Remember that spot too that we just covered. So I don't know how it works, but hey, that guy's got a damn good voice for. You could be Shredder, you could be Splinter, you could be the Rat for all I care. I just like that guy's voice acting. Very, very good.
Absolutely.
Feel free to take us into part 2 of 4 here.
Finale, part 2, Shreddy or Not. Here, yeah, the turtles meet Hamato Karai, who, yeah, as I said, she is Karai in this universe, but she is not an Oroku, she's a Hamato, even though it turns out that her father, like 500 years ago, was Oroku Saki. But he, like, she tells the story that he, like, met this demon creature who gave him the dark armor that turned him into the Shredder, so that now he became evil. And well, Karai turned away from him and well founded the Hamato clan. And yeah, and they were able to stop Shredder to destroy the armor, but now he is back. And yeah, the turtles should be able to stop Shredder because they are like they are Splinter's sons, so they should be able to use the Hamato Ninbo, the Hamato powers. But Splinter, well, did not train them in that, so that could be a problem. And it gets only wilder because Shredder attacks the turtles' lair, and there's a big fight. There's big, crazy action scenes where like everything gets destroyed. Draxum and Splinter, they get kidnapped by the Shredder, while the turtles, they have to drive off and the whole lair gets destroyed. And um, dude, once again, that was the end of the episode. Like, oh, come on, this is whoa, this is crazy. This is whoa, this is just too much for me.
What's crazy about it is you have this 4-parter, and then after we're done with this, it goes right into a movie. So even this in itself could have been a movie, you know, just how everything kind of flowed together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, Oh boy! Well, hopefully you're able to take a swig of water here. I know you've been covering a lot for us, but feel free to take us into episode 3 when you're ready.
Yeah, part 3. Anata wa hitori janai. Which by the way means you are not alone. And well, the turtles they go to they escape to the countryside with Todd, and they're like, "Hey, what should we do?" And this is especially for hard for Raphael, because he's like, "I must be the leader. I have to take care of this." And it's really, he does not know what to do, and it drives him crazy. Meanwhile, Karai dies because, well, she fought the Shredder, and she died in the lair. April was there in her last moment, and Karai's spirit went into April so that April can go to the turtles and tell them what they must do to use their Hamato powers, so that she can show them what they should do. All the while, Shredder tries to get new powers, and he needs to go to the underground city to get this. This goo called it was called Imperium, if I remember correctly.
So.
That will give him so that he can use this ritual to uh, like absorb the energy, the life energy from Splinter, who is the last Hamato, so that he can finally be unstoppable. And the turtles, especially Raphael, he finally finds out that he is not alone in this. He can rely on his brothers, and when the turtles realize that they have each other, that they can take care of each other, they are finally able to unleash their mystic Hamato powers. And this is like the moment. So okay, we are ready. We can face the Shredder. And so yeah, they're like, okay, we know where we have to go to. The one person who can help us now, and that's only one, the smartest person who knows about the underground city. And everyone is like, that's Big Mama, except for Donatello. It's like, that's me. Oh, Big Mama, of course, that meant Big Mama.
Oh my god, yep, exactly. Just amazing training sequences, like you say. Just once again, the animation for all these are just so good. And this is it then, I believe, for this show right here with Rise.
Yeah, it's so cool that the final episode is just called Rise. It's so,
Yep.
I don't know,
Very
it just
powerful.
works.
It's powerful. Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And here the turtles, they go to Big Mama, and who is still still in her is pretty sick, because she got pretty beat up by the Shredder in the last time. And she tells them where they have to go to confront the Shredder, and so they go to the underground city to confront the Shredder once and for all. And the turtles, they are able to like summon their new weapons, and it's like, because they're mystical weapons, they got destroyed, and now they're going back to the original weapons. And it's like it all comes full circle. Leonardo uses his katanas, Michelangelo nunchakos, Raphael the sais, and Donatello his bow staff, and they are all of them working together to finally confront the Shredder, which brings us to this amazing action scene. It's like totally wild, totally crazy, like anime style. They're flying around, they're moving, they're teleporting from moment to moment, and it's good. I cannot describe it. It's really wild. It's really crazy. Everyone's working together. Splinter, April, everyone is fighting against the Shredder, and we see all this, like all his ancestors, the ghosts of Splinter's ancestors and Karai, they're all going against the Shredder, and they're like, with the final attack, all of them like hot soup, and they're like going at Shredder, and they're able to really destroy him, free Orokusaki's spirit, and yeah, and it's like just too wild. And after this, like, Shredder is defeated, it's all over, and we get two more really interesting moments where, like, Foot Recruit They're like, hey, everyone work together, and you, Foot Recruit, you're also helping us. And she's like, my name is Cassandra Jones, but everybody calls me Casey. Like, wow,
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming. Um, and in the last moment of this episode, we see the turtles and Splinter running across rooftops, and like, yeah, we can be heroes, we can do everything. And Splinter even says, "Hey, maybe in the future, someone will make a movie about you." And then he says, "Oh, and by the way, Blue is now the leader." And everybody's what? And then the show ended, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Hey, finally, Leonardo, you're in leader. It's like, wait, what? And then, nope, we got to go. So, oh my gosh. So that is the end of the series, but it's not the end of Rise because there was a movie that came out, I believe, a couple years ago. So, can you explain why it took almost 2 years? Is it because of the pandemic and COVID that the movie was put on hold?
Um, well, they announced the movie that they were making a movie when the show was still running,
Oh,
but it really took them some time. I mean, the show ended in 2020, and the movie came out in 2022. So it took them 2 years to finish up the movie. And I remember that at the time there was some time where we heard nothing about the movie, and it's like, is it still coming out? Or is it dead? And we always had like the guys after behind the show and behind the movie, like, no, we're still working on it. It takes its time. Uh, yeah, and of course, COVID was a big problem back then. But like in 2022, they were finally able to release Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, on Netflix. And yeah, that was a wild day, I remember.
oh my gosh. Yeah, so I did not see this when it first aired. I saw it, I want to say it was maybe in 2023 because I was trying to, this is before I was doing Shellonomics, and I talked about this last, like, yeah, if you haven't seen anything of Rise, like I told everybody I tried to get into, I just couldn't. I said, hey, start with the movie and work your way backwards. It's actually a good way to go, and feel free to share what happens because right off the bat you get, again, somebody we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, this movie, it takes place after the end of the second season. So we start off with a scene from the future. We have this post-apocalyptic future, and we get the turtles, and we meet another new character in this world, Casey Jones. And he gets sent back through time to warn the turtles about these creatures called the Krang, who want to take over the world, and that's the what leads to this post-apocalyptic future and the death of, well, pretty much everyone, because we saw like Michelangelo dying and Leonardo gets disintegrated, and from the start it's like, dude, what's going on? That's crazy. So Casey Jones gets sent back through time to warn the turtles about the coming of the Krang, and the Foot Clan. They want to open a portal to get the Krang to Earth. And well, unfortunately, they are able to do this, and we have these three Krang who, well, pretty much want to take over the world. And the turtles, they try to stop them. And during all this, Leonardo is really trying to grow into his new leader role. And Raph is, once again, he's like the serious one. He's like, hey, take it seriously. You have to be the leader now. I know it's hard, but you have to do it. And when Raph gets kidnapped by the Krang, gets captured by the Krang, Leonardo is like finally really rising up to this leadership thing, and he's like getting everyone together to first off save Raphael, who gets Krangified during all this because some people get turned into Krang creatures by the Krang, and yeah, pretty wild. And even Raph gets that, and so they try to get him back, which they're able to do so in the end. So Turtles, April, Splinter, Casey, they're all fighting the Krang, and once again, I cannot recommend this movie enough, just for the animation, because the animation in the show was great, but here in the movie, they're even like one step more. It's like there's you really see that they got a budget that they can really work there, and it once again there's so many fantastic scenes here, especially nearing the end when the turtles are fighting the Krang, and we see like they're flying once again, flying through the air. Whole buildings are flying through the air, and they're running through them, fighting the Krang, and yeah, pretty much in the end they're able to defeat the Krang, and yeah, and well, they are once again they're like a team. They're like, hey, we are the heroes of the city. Casey is now a part of this team. And they're like, hey, we are now we're part of the team. We are like the saviors of the city. And whenever evil comes, we will be ready. We will take care of it. And well, with this, the movie ends. This universe pretty much ends, and who knows what we'll see next about it. One more thing that I forgot to mention is that Casey, by the way, Casey Jones in this movie is voiced by Haley Joel Osment, who most of you might remember as the little kid from the Sixth Sense movie. He's grown up now. So yeah, and he did a fantastic job as Casey, I gotta say. I really liked him.
And you know
So
what
yeah,
else?
that was Rise of the TMNT, the movie.
And you know what else is a part of, my friend? One of my favorite video games, good old boy Sora in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
exactly.
That was a nice treat hearing him in that. So let's talk about this movie for a few minutes here. So my thoughts were, once again, the Donnie show. It's still Donnie, even though he's not the main dude. I just how did you like I guess what was your favorite funny part? For me, it was when they were doing the escape pods and Donatello's trying to do a survey, like, hey, how was your escape? Did you like that part?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was a fantastic scene. But yeah, what else? I should have rewatched it, but I was just checking out a summary of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are really some great scenes. But one scene that sticks out to me is not even a funny scene. But it's about Donatello. If you remember that when Leonardo was fighting the Krang and he was like sacrificing himself for the team, and the other turtles they're like, we cannot realize this. It's crazy. And Donatello starts crying, and he's like touching his face, like in this moment, like, what's that? He's get overwhelmed by emotion, and we know Donatello in this show. He's like the total he never shows any emotion, but here is like crying, and you really see in his face is like, is this real? Am I crying? It's such a great moment. And just the scene when Leonardo gets stuck in this prison dimension with the Krang, and he gets beaten up by the Krang. It gets really dark, really gritty there. It's like, whoa, he gets really beaten up, and he's like, yeah, I did it for my family and my team. And these are just the scenes. And yeah, don't get me started on the action scenes, because just the action scenes, they're like chef's kiss there.
Yeah, no, I enjoy the action a lot. I also just liked how he talked too, is, Leonardo has to mature up, because I relate to him though, because he's like, look, I've been trying to give you guys plans since, season 1, episode 1. No one ever likes my ideas. We're doing this my way. And eventually it causes him to screw up because he doesn't listen to anybody at all. So he lost his cool. I always thought it was nice when Raphael is the most selfless of the bunch, when he tells, he pushes the button to send Leonardo. He's like, no, I'm going to be the one here by myself. Very touching moment too when he has to free Raphael, because you can, again, with the animation, you see the tear from Raphael's eye when he's like, no, I'm just going to stand here and take these punches. And it breaks the spell. Fantastic movie. I'm trying to think of what else. So would you agree, like, for just, yeah, we're going to call you Dr. Christian today, okay? So what is your, like they always say, take 2 pills and call me in the morning. Sir, for those who are listening to Shellonomics today, and there's not that many Rise fans out there. There's some, but, compared to 87, 2003, 2012, like, there's not that many out there. So if somebody told you, hey, you walk in, knock, knock, they're in TMNT Dare Talk store, and it's like, Dr. Christian, what would you recommend for some Rise of the TMNT? Do you start with the movie first? Where would you go first?
It's complicated. I would make like a list of episodes you should really check out, and then go to the movie. I think it's really, because I mean, you can watch the movie, and I think it's fine. If you even have not watched the show and watched the movie, I think it works because it tells you enough, so you know about these characters and the world they're living in. But I think if you've watched the show, or at least like the essential episodes, like the first episode, and then the Baron Draxum episodes, and the Shredder episodes, and and especially the finale, you get a much better feeling for these characters and where they are, who they are. I mean, in the movie we get like Warren Hypno short scene with them, and if you have not seen the show, you would have no idea who they are. Once again, which works because it's not like I have to know about these characters. You only have to know that, like, okay, there are two bad guys. The turtles fight them. Okay, that's fine. But okay, so in my opinion, if you want like to get into the essential of Rise, we could make like an episode list, like, okay, these are the essential episodes that you should really check out to get into this show, and then you know all that you have to know to get into the movie, and that's it. That's fine. That's totally cool. And maybe if you're like, hey, that's fun, I like it, you check out the other episodes, and then and then you get turned into a Rise fan, and I did my job then, if that happens.
There you go.
And so, yeah, I think, as I said, some essential episodes, and then the movie, and you're cool. And I think you can really get into it because, just the fun, and especially the action, the animation, you get a really good feeling for it. And like, okay, maybe Rise is not that bad. So yeah, I think that could work.
Oh, because that's where I fall into it. So I started with the movie, and when we did this full circle for Shellonomics to break down every episode, get our notes in there, get our feedback, because that's what I like to do. We provide you guys a taste and a sample of what we encourage anybody who's a Turtle fan to do. Just if you get some time, watch these episodes, see if it's for you. So for me, if you start with the movie and then go back like I did, I actually appreciated the movie the second time around, because some people, you're not going to get Casey Jones in any episode. If you want Casey Jones, you gotta watch the movie. He's not in any episodes. The slapstick, I would say, what's the one we liked a lot? Episode 16. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you want to watch certain episodes, I'd be honest and just say start with 16, because to me, I didn't really feel like we got an intro to anybody. If you watch the first episode, okay. But like you said, if you want action, you want like, most Turtle fans like, where's the Foot Clan? Where's Shredder? It's like, well, you'll have to watch there's only a few episodes in season 1 until you hear Shredder. Action, though, is great. And if you're somebody who just wants to kick back, like, we hope nobody ever gets sick, but if if you're bored, you just need something to watch and do a heavy binge, this show's okay for a heavy binge, because how many episodes would you actually even have to watch in order? We had that mini series near the end, and then we had that like 4-parter, right? So really not much is in order, right? Because except for the quest when they're going for it. So yeah, so you can kind of bounce around with these two and just pick a favorite show. So final thoughts for me, just again, we give our opinion here. Everybody can agree to disagree. I just don't see Michelangelo too much. To me, I feel he's not existent, and it's hard for me to say as a diehard Mikey fan. He has a few moments where he tries to bring people together, but even in the Lair games, I had a little bone to pick with the writers because Mikey did 0. Even Raph got 1 win when I rewatched those. It was the Donnie show. We've already established that, and I have no problem with Donnie being the top dog. But really, Mikey couldn't even do a skateboard? You guys say in the theme song he's got mad skills. Where are they? The only part he has is he does get one shining moment in the movie, if you remember, where he does like the hand thing. That part I did like. But as a whole, I didn't feel he was there. That's just my final opinion on Mikey. But is this show for me, after we've watched everything? if I were to grade this on a slice of 1 to 10 slices of pizza, I guess we can say here, I would say I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. It's not the worst. There's great comedy. Where does it rank with other turtle things? It's hard to compare because every generation is different. Would this relate to you, Christian? Like, I like comedy movies, right? And my cousin always says, it's unless it's like a airplane or Naked Gun, something that's superb. It's like, times change, right? So some movies that were great 5 years ago may not, click with fans here. So where do you rank Rise? If you were to have on a scale of 1 to 10 slices of pizza, what would your number be?
Oh, well, I think I would be to get the rating out of the system.
Yeah.
I think overall I would be like around 7.5, somewhere around
That's good.
there. And I really think one of the biggest problems of Rise is that a lot of these episodes, they are like one-off episodes, and we have like there's a story and then it's over. And as you said, you can like watch most of these episodes out of order and you wouldn't even realize it because there are episodes that tell a bigger story, but they are rarer and in between. So I think that's the biggest problem of Rise, that they're like really take their time. If we start the show, we have so many episodes. They're like, okay, we have a character that's doing something, like a bad guy doing something, and then he gets defeated. Next episode, bad guy appears, he gets defeated. Next episode, there's no connection. There's no real connection between them. I mean, it's okay, world building. We have to introduce the characters and so on and so forth. But it really takes its time before it gets into like an overall story with, okay, there's more behind Draxum. There's the Foot Clan, Shredder, and that's really a problem for most people because, like, hey, I want to have an overall story. I mean, just look at 2003, just look at 2012. We get like from the start we get a bigger story. We like this story, most of the episodes, they are connected in one way or another, and with Rise we did not really get that. um
I agree all the way.
but
Because it's like, where is this going, right? Did you ever have that when you were watching?
yeah,
Like, yeah, which way are we going? Are we going comedy or are we going to the. Well, you can have a little bit of both. 2003 didn't have too much comedy. Mikey was the relief there. 2012 had great action and solid comedy. And this one, I just didn't know which way it was going.
yeah, but I mean with the characters, the turtles, they we get how should I put it? We get a really great family dynamic with the turtles. We get a lot of hugging, a lot of hey, I care about you guys, I love you guys, stuff like this. That's not that present in other shows. But here we get like, okay, they are younger, they're more, they want to have more of a feeling of being loved, and we get this really. So in this regards, it really works. And if like the story, it's kind of weird to say it like this, but if the story would have been faster, like um, if the first season would have only been 13 episodes, like trim it down, like some of the stories like taken out, as much
Yes,
as I
yes.
like them, but I
Yep.
think that's the biggest problem. Like, go faster to the main story. We want to see more, like keep us hooked on the show, like, oh my god, I want to know what happens next. You don't get that a lot in the show, so get faster there. And that's the biggest problem for the show, I think, and for most people to get into the show. And but I still think that this show had much more potential. I think if the show would have gone on longer, there would be still so much to tell with these turtles, to tell in this world. Still, I'm so amazed how they were able to really deliver a finale that works the way it did, with what they got. Like, hey, we have a whole season to tell our story. No, we only have half a season, and they were like, they were really working overtime to get it done, and they really nailed the landing. And it's still amazing that they did so. But uh, I think with more seasons, they would have been able to tell even bigger stories to get more into this world, and I would have been interested where they would have gone with it. I remember that the guys behind the show, they were talking about if we would have gotten more seasons, we would have introduced characters like the Red King as a main bad guy, and so on and so forth. And that would have been really interesting to see where they would be going with this. So yeah, with the way it is, I really like Rise. I think it's completely different from any other TMNT show. But different doesn't mean bad. If some people say, "Hey, I tried it, I did not get into it," I can totally understand that. But for me, it's a good one. I would have liked to see more of it, but the way it is, it works totally fine. It got its start, it got its finish, it even got a movie, and I'm happy. And yeah, Rise of the TMNT is part of the TMNT multiverse, and yeah, you can never take that away from me.
Yep, exactly. Just I think, like you said, it just didn't click with so many fans. Again, it definitely didn't hit mainstream like the other three shows did. Because I think, like you said, what it comes down to are the toys. You know, this is the only I want to say it's one of the few where there was no big video game. They had a couple Flash games on computers, I remember, but there was nothing for, you know, like a PlayStation video game or a Nintendo Switch or Xbox, where every other Turtle franchise, you know, from 87 to the 03 to the 2012, they all had video games. So it really wasn't mainstream. I guess it just didn't click with a lot of people. Hey, it still made two seasons. That's still, you know, a win in itself, because some shows get written off before they get off the ground. I believe we both agree that they did a great job with April. I liked seeing this tone. I liked seeing her actually knowing how to fight. I think the backlash may have just been a lot with Splinter. It just didn't click with people. But like you say, I think the problem too was, like, I mean, you can't tell people, come on, give it a chance. You're either going to watch or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to persuade people unless you're doing shows like this or you're a diehard fan. But just a lot of people may have just clicked off and never went back. And it's unfortunate for those fans, because you can go back now and relive them. But I think that's why it had a short life too, right? I think there was just a lot of backlash with some things, and they just never looked back. So, dude, that's it. We have finished off Rise. I know we've got, Halloween's coming up. So what kind of spooky episodes do you have on your channel, Christian? If they want to, you got current stuff, but is there, you know, I'm going to put this episode out probably tomorrow. We've got Halloween out here in the States Friday. So for us American listeners who unfortunately can only hear you in English, what episodes, if you can recommend to our viewers who want to hear a nice spooky tale about the Turtles, if you got any on your channel?
Oh, yeah, I did some Halloween episodes where I talked about like spooky comic stories or yeah, episodes and so on and so forth. But yeah, hey, check them out.
Nice.
Like come on over to TMNT The Talk, which is my podcast. And as Mike just said, yeah, I do a lot of German episodes because I'm from Austria. But I also do every other week, I do an English episode where I talk about TMNT comics. So I try to provide something for everyone, for every TMNT fan all around the world. And so, yeah, just check it out. Come on over to tmnttalk.com, which is the website where I also have all the social media stuff and so on and so forth. So, hey, maybe you will find something there. And if you look a little bit closer, you might even find some spooky stuff right in time for Halloween. So, yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I think this is the first week in about 3 months. I'm a little stretching, but every week we've had some sort of spooky horror stuff. So kind of fun when we kind of break with the week of Halloween. Oh, dude, as always, it's been a blast. And enjoy your Halloween if you celebrate out there by your neck of the woods. And like you always say, until next time.
Until next time, my dudes.